that introduced me to that style of music, and I loved it. Loved it. So, I mean, I never thought I was going to be in a metal band, but when the opportunity presented itself, I was like, I'm going to be in a metal band. And I did that. And I loved it.
One of the songs that I wanted to cover had screams in it. And he again was like, well, you can't scream, so why try? And it was that being told I can't and I shouldn't made me want to do it.
We had to inform the local fire station, and we had to inform like people who were living there, like that there's nothing on fire, that it's just like a crazy metal band, like shooting everything up.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Mark Sugiyama from Eclectic Arts, based here in Seattle, Washington, and today is what is today? Today is Thursday, July 8th, 2021, and I thank you so much for joining me. If you have been watching the interview live streams that I've been doing for the last year and some change, and if you haven't seen a fun table session, you might be looking like, well, what is all this crap behind me? And so when I'm not doing a one-on-one interview and I'm doing a fun table, I take all my gear and I put it on the other side of my table here. So this is obviously the wall, and there's some CDs and Godzilla's over here. And that tells you that this is a fun table session. All the other ones are going to be with the backdrop and the paintings and everything else that I have over here. And so just to explain for people that are new to this, if you're watching it now, if you're watching it down the road, this is where I bring guests that I've interviewed prior, and we come together and just kind of hang out for a length of time. Today should be about 90 minutes or so. And we just kind of shoot the breeze about things. So if you picture walking into maybe a not crowded bar, and there's some people that you kind of meet and you're just kind of hanging out, having a drink and talking about random things, that's what we do here. And what's really awesome about this virtual environment is that as long as schedules work, I can invite people from literally around the world, and that's what we have today. So we're going to be talking with folks from Germany, the UK, the eastern part of the United States, and I'm here on the west coast of the United States. So we just did the new version of this last month, and that was great. So thank you to Jessica from Dianthus and Zaza from Hiraes, and also, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart, Marina from Phantom Elite. So that was how we kicked things off with this new version of this. These things used to be on Saturday nights, especially during the heart of the pandemic. So we were going 3 hours. I think the record was like 4.5 hours, where we were just like talking about all kinds of stuff. But obviously now things are starting to get to a point where people can get out here. In the US, it's summertime, and over in Europe, it's also summertime as well. So people might be kind of making up for lost time from last summer. I know people are like right now are on vacations and doing other things outside. So if you are in the chat, hi Ove, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you would like to join the chat, all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, and it should let you in pretty much instantly. And thank you so much for all the new subscribers. I am past that 1,000 magical number. So some other things are now possible with my YouTube channel, which I'm extremely grateful for. And if you want to ever follow what I do or any of the guests during the fun table sessions, just look at the description in YouTube. So all of their official sites are linked there. All of my social media stuff's linked there. And we just kind of go for it. So I'm going to bring in each guest individually. So again, if you're watching this and you want to ask the guest a question or just want to throw something out to the entire group, feel free to do so. And let's see. Clearly, I don't have my notes. Again, this is so loose that I don't even write introductions. I just kind of say things off the top of my head. Let's bring in the first guest that was able to confirm. And I did an interview with her and her bandmate. That was fairly recently, maybe like a month ago, something like that. Their album Solitaire did come out though, and they just have I want to say a third music video that do I have my numbers right? A third music video that was debuting not too long ago, and she is joining us from Germany. So let's welcome Britta from Hiraes.
Hi, Mark. Thanks so much for having me again. Hi, everyone watching.
Hi. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. It's so good to see you again. And yeah, it sounds like things are plugging along over there in Germany.
Oh yes, I mean like for us in Hiraes, it's a great time. Like our record is out, and it's like we get so much great feedback on it, and it's summertime, so it's really like at the moment there's only a few things to complain about, which are obvious and shall not be mentioned here.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, but yeah, I just always think back to a year ago where things are at. So I'm like, you know what, things have definitely improved for what I do, and just the options and the opportunities that I have. So I'm looking forward to having you with us and hanging out. So let's bring in guest number 2. We did a one-on-one interview not too long ago, which I also really enjoyed. And her band's debut album has also been out. Actually, I think it's in my background back here somewhere. I know the CD's back there. So let's bring her in, and I want to hear about everything she has going on, including her animals on her property. So let's bring in Megan from Vexed.
Oh.
Hi, Megan.
Hiya. I'm probably the least metal person you'll have on your show. Oh, thank you for having me, though.
No, thank you so much for taking the time and being able to join us. And I really appreciate that we can hang out and have just some levity and some fun and kind of learn things about people that just as people.
Yeah.
We can always talk about the music stuff too if that crops up, but I never know which way these things are going to go. Sometimes we've talked about Star Wars, and we talked about bathroom habits during one of them. all kinds of weird things. So, and last but definitely not least, we're going to bring in the guest on the Eastern U.S. She has been a part of a handful of these sessions. And actually, she was a part of the first live stream I ever did by myself as Eclectic Arts back in August last year. And she's got an extensive music background. We got connected because she illustrated a children's book. She's dressed up as a pig at a children's party at Dr. Phil's house. It's been all kinds of interesting things. So let's welcome in NICOLE Bouffard.
I was definitely part of that bathroom conversation as well, because I remember my answer, but I'm not going to repeat. Good times, Mark. Good times.
Yeah, that's we were putting it all out there during that one.
That was fun. We were all like, still in like trauma land. So
we were. That's right. That was with you and John from Paper Nova. I do remember that conversation. So, but yeah, ladies, it's so great having all of you here. And so let's just kind of jump into things. And again, feel free to ask each other things. It doesn't have to be me asking stuff. But Megan, let's start. I do want to hear about your ducks. You keep posting things about your ducks on Instagram. I keep seeing videos and pictures. What kind of paradise do you live in?
I don't know if it's a paradise or if some people would like turn up and be like, this is pure chaos. Like they'd probably run a mile. But I'm lucky enough to live in the countryside in the UK. And so when lockdown first happened here, me and my partner were just like, what are we going to do? Like, what the hell are we going to do? So we bought some eggs off Facebook and incubated them and then hatched ducklings. And then we got like the bug for it again this year, and we rescued some ducklings. So got 5 rescue ducklings in my kitchen at the moment. Yeah.
They're so cute. I really enjoy watching them on your Instagram. Like, they're so adorable.
And also, I will add, before I talk your ears about ducks, I did some stalking over both of you two, because when I found out you were going to be interviewed, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to have to do a stalk. And like, both your voices are like, when I was listening to yours, Britta, was like, oh my god, and then I was listening to yours, NICOLE, and I was like, oh my god, but like for completely different reasons. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, yeah, these are some like really powerful in completely different ways, like women. So yeah, it's so cool to be able to chat with you all.
I was pretty impressed too. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so honored to be with these ladies. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be great. I love it.
Very angry ladies.
Oh, we need it. We need it. More of that, please.
Yeah.
I was so excited and super happy when Mark revealed like the party that we're having here tonight. I was so happy, and I thought it was so cool. Like, and Megan, congrats on that album. Like, I'm like, I don't know, like, it just,
thank you.
It was a big wave of energy washing over me, and I'm really happy that you put that out.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been a really weird thing to do, but thank you. That's so cool.
Did you know each other before this, or is this the first time you've? Okay. Cool. Just
No,
wondering.
but I did do a proper stalking session. So
Okay, gotcha.
on both of you, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to add you too then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, follow that.
Well, I remember we had, and actually, Nicole, you were a part of this fun table. We had one guest who, most people, they'll check out the social media of the guests that they're going to be with, just out of curiosity or whatever. But we had one guest that did a real deep dive on everybody. Even I was like, damn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I was just checking out their music and like your beautiful selfies and stuff, and I was just like, these women are so badass. But I didn't like try and find your social security numbers or your addresses or anything like that. So I wasn't weird.
Yeah. That's too funny.
Yeah, that gal will definitely remain nameless. She's awesome. Don't get me wrong, but when she's asking things of the other guests, I'm like, holy crap! I mean,
I just felt bad that I didn't do that much research because I was like, oh, I think I just looked like briefly just to make sure I knew, what we all did.
Yeah.
But yeah, she knew everything. I was humbled by that.
That's really cute.
It was nice.
So what Meg, I'm just curious, going back to your ducks.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna see them. We're gonna see the ducks at the end of
I'll bring one up in a bit. Yeah, I'll bring one up.
Now is it
So exciting.
Is it strictly ducks that you have, or do you have other animals also roaming around too, like becoming like into a farm or something? Or
So my granddad, bless him, has got a farm, and I live on like an annex on his farm, and so I look after all the animals, and bless him, he just lets me get more animals. So lockdown has just been me turning our little like farm with a couple of things on it into a zoo. So we've got ducks, chickens, horses, loads and loads of guinea pigs and rabbits and dogs, and it's crazy, but in the best kind of way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did you also grow up on that farm?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so
That's amazing.
yeah, I was like, it's part of me. It's I'm very, very lucky to have grown up in this part of the world. So yeah. It's like a Disney movie kind of when you come here.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
it's great.
What's your favorite animal then?
Oh, probably.
Who's your favorite?
Oh God. Well, I've got a duck called Quacky. And when he hatched, he had a wonky neck, and so he kind of like walks around he's got like a crooked neck and like a weird hunchback, but like it just makes me love him even more because he's just like our special little wonky duck, and he does tricks for treats and stuff. So yeah, I love Quacky.
That sounds like that. What is this? Stargazing affliction? Is that what that's called?
Yeah, wry neck or stargazing. Yeah. So bless him. He's a wonky little fella. But what about you guys? Have you got any pets?
I don't. Oh, sorry, Nicole.
Oh no, you don't have a pet.
Unfortunately not. Like I used to have pets when I was younger, when I was like in my teenage years, but like I live by myself, and since usually I'm traveling a lot, like it's just like very unfair to what's like.
Yeah.
I would probably have a dog, but it would be like nothing that I can really like provide with the proper care, just because of my lifestyle. But yeah, I'm a dog person. I'm an animal person. I don't know. I embrace all animals. I love them all.
What kind of dog would you get?
Probably, I'm most likely like a wild mix of everything. A really awkward looking dog, probably. Maybe more on the taller side. I also like Doberman. Like I really love these dogs, but I wouldn't want a dog that is like too much like humanly bred. So maybe like I don't know, like maybe a street dog from somewhere else, just like an adoption dog. Maybe with like one eye and 3 legs or something like that.
So, they're always the best ones though. They're always the ones with the most character.
Yeah, a former colleague of mine has a dog from Spain, and she was just like so afraid of everyone and everything. And then like the moment when she gradually like opened up towards people, because she was bringing her into work, just to get her being used around people. And then it was like she was first drawn to women only, and then slowly opened up to men without beard. So you can like really like reverse engineer what has happened in her past. And then like the first time like she sniffed on a coworker that had a full beard, it was just like ice-breaking moment, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at Dookie, look at Dookie!" Like,
Wow.
she's the bearded one.
That's so interesting.
Cute. What about you?
That's
Nicole?
really interesting.
Have you got any
I have a parrot.
Oh my
His
God,
name
that's
is.
so cool.
I'm a bird person too. I love birds.
Yay.
Yeah. His name is Spanky. He's really annoying.
Is he one of the breeds that can talk or anything?
He actually does a pretty good job, like A+ for effort, because his species is not great at it, but he does like, "Hi baby, hi bird, hello." Yeah, that's about as good. That was actually a little better than he does, but yeah, it's like.
That's so cute.
He sounds like a duck. Kind of sounds like a duck. Not when he's screaming though. No, yeah. So we'll have to bring out the birds.
Yes.
BYOB, bring your own birds.
Yeah. Do you have any pets, Mark?
You know, I used to, and when you mentioned that you have a lot of guinea pigs there, I was like, oh, because I used to have a mom and a daughter for almost 7 years, and then they just actually they recently passed this year, so I don't have any right
bless
now.
them.
That's
a good age, though.
It is,
yeah.
They went past the the standard mark of 5 to 6 years, so I was happy about that, and I'm kind of like what Britta was saying, that I would love to have a dog, but then when things open up again, I'll be at concerts, shooting stuff at night. I'm at theater at night, so I'm just gone a lot, and so it's like, well, if there was somebody else that could be around them so they have a better life, then it would be great. But right now I don't have that, so it's just kind of a waiting game. But I grew up with dogs, so it's like at some point, and especially if I'm in like a full-blown house with a yard and someone else to help take care of them, that's going to be probably top on the list.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I had a rescue dog back in college that eventually went and lived with my parents, and I went to college in what's considered Central Washington State, which is like being in the Midwest of the U.S. It's like really hot half the year, it's really cold the other half of the year. It's nothing like Seattle over there. So she was a country dog. She was all of like 14 pounds, and she loved to be outside all the time, didn't matter what was going on, raining, sun, and really, really smart, picked up on routine. So I keep thinking back about her, and like, yeah, at some point I'd like to get another dog. And just like what Britta was also saying, I saw this really interesting documentary about this gal that was in the U.S. military in the Middle East was trying to bring a dog back, a street dog that they had found, back to the U.S. And that process was so long, and all the quarantining and everything else that had to happen. They eventually got the dog to Idaho to a foster until the gal that was paying for all this could get out of the military and then be with her dog. And the interesting thing was that the foster had 2 other dogs, and so this dog that came from the Middle East bonded with those dogs and with that foster. And so when the owner came back to take the dog away, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. And luckily for that owner, she was big enough of a person to let the dog stay with the foster permanently. She recognized that this wasn't a good change for the dog. But that dog had such an amazing personality and everything. You could totally see why she wanted to bring it back to the United States, and it was just kind of heartbreaking for her to see. But again, she did the right thing by not saying, well, I'm going to make this work, and you're my dog. That wasn't that at all. She recognized, I'm still in school, I'm still working 10 hours a day, so the dog just was developing bad behaviors because there's no attention paid to it. So just glad that she said, hey, would you be interested in taking the dog back? And then the foster, I love him, I'd love to have him back. And the other dogs were super happy to see him. So in the end, it worked out best for the dog. But
and she got it out of a horrible situation anyway, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely, she did. So that is the main thing. So sounds good. We have a bunch of animal lovers here.
Yeah, we do. It's funny. I don't understand people who don't. Oh, sorry.
It was very cool once. I think it was like 10 or maybe like even 12 years back. I played on a smaller festival, and one of the drummers had a dog with him, and the dog was a very tiny white little furry dog, and the dog was laying like next to the drum kit while he was playing. And I was like what's going on with your dog? Like, yeah, well, I wanted a dog, so I got a deaf dog from the shelter, and she's just like curling up next to the drum set. And so whenever we're out on the road, she can just like lay there and enjoy. And she had like this blinking color that whenever he was like calling her, like he was like with a remote control, and the thing was like all lighting up, and she was just like looking.
Oh, that's so
that was
cute.
really cool. It was a really, really cool idea. Like, it was a tiny white dog, but I don't remember the name, like, but that was a really good idea.
Yeah, what a brilliant idea. If you're a drummer, get a deaf dog. Perfect.
Yeah. Very
so
sweet.
I remember going around Brighton. It's like a really artsy city over here, and there was a guy who was like playing guitar and stuff in the street, busking, that's the word. And he had his dog with him, but it had little miniature dog ear defenders on, and oh my god, it's so cute. Apparently
that's so cute,
isn't it? There's this company that make ear defenders for animals that are in venues or go touring, and it had these little ear defenders on. Oh, so cute.
Oh my goodness, if I had a pet that would let me put outfits on it, it's done. It's done.
Imagine your little parrot with like,
I can't. I've tried. He won't.
Really not.
I've tried.
No,
that's not happening. It's a shame. But
it's so cute.
Yeah, I know. They're the best. But yeah, I would say I don't understand people who don't like animals. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but is there?
I think there is. Yeah. If you don't like, it's like people that say they don't like music. Like,
yes. Like, what do you listen to in the car? I guess just whatever.
Yeah. And the same
talk radio.
Don't like. Yeah, exactly. And people that don't like animals is just like, what is wrong with you? I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's everything wrong with them.
Yeah, it must be. I don't know. Some people don't like the mess. I mean, I'm sure there's multiple reasons why. But how could you not look at the little life form and think, oh,
I know. I love it.
They're so cute.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I know anybody that I've met that has actually said that they don't like animals? I can't think of anyone, which is kind of good, actually.
It's good.
The music thing. Yeah, I've had some people say, "Oh, yeah, I just listen to whatever." I'm like,
yeah.
What does that mean?
That is really weird. That is really, really weird. I mean, I have a really wide taste in music, so I really can pretty much deal with everything that people like throw at me as their favorite type or band that they listen to. But like, to not have at least a favorite song or something that is, I mean, it's so attached to most people's youth growing up that they have their, their soundtrack of their youth, their soundtrack of their upbringing. And like, it's such a weird thing for me to understand. I believe them when they tell me that, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just like, I listen to like a huge spectrum of music. Like, most of the time I don't even listen to metal, but then you get like metalheads that are like, I only listen to metal, I can't stand any other kind of music. And I think I don't understand those people either, because I think like there's so much more out there. Like,
yeah, they're missing out.
Yeah.
It's strange.
It is strange. I mean, I definitely at least have like a childhood type of, music or song that affected you as a kid. I don't know. Yeah.
Who was like your guys's like person that you listened to when you were little? Because for me, it was Britney Spears and the Spice Girls. Yay!
I love Free Britney.
Yes, Free Britney.
Man, that's some crazy stuff going down. I'm not surprised about any of that. Who did I listen to? I really liked Paula Abdul.
Oh, wow, cool.
What was that song?
Straight Up?
Straight Up. I remember listening to that in the back of the car being like, this song is everything. And I was like 7.
That's so cute.
So cool. Straight
What
up.
about you two?
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. Like I haven't, my brother is 10 years older than I am. So I grew up listening, like we had a shared room. So I grew up listening to his like Iron Maiden, AC/DC stuff, but that was not the music that grabbed me first. I went through a really weird phase in my life, probably even for my parents, where I listened to like this boy bands kind of stuff when I was like around 13 or so. Like for me, it was New Kids on the Block. And then on the other hand, I was listening to Guns N' Roses and Metallica. So I had like these cassettes that I would do for myself. And on one side it had New Kids on the Block. On the other side it had like for my parents' taste, the nasty kind of lyrics that came from Guns N' Roses and Metallica. Like it was like really
awesome.
That's so cool.
Nirvana was a really big thing for me. Really big.
Yeah. Oh.
That's cool.
Britta, that is so bizarre what you just said to me, because I totally relate to it, because I remember in high school for me, so I'm totally dating myself, but I had on one side of my cassette, I had Debbie Gibson's Out of the Blue, and then on the other side I had Iron Maiden's Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. So that's what I was listening to. Such a good album. Yeah. So just depending on my mood, that's what I was into. And Megan, like you were saying, I was probably only narrow-minded in terms of my music taste, maybe like in 7th grade, where I was so into metal. I was like, oh, that's all I'm going to listen to. But after, especially when I started playing guitar, it's like I listened to everything. And then being around my house, my parents were playing Motown, and it's the 70s, so like easy listening was being played. So Neil Diamond and Barry Manilow, I heard that stuff, heard disco.
Love Neil Diamond,
Yeah, so and that's just obviously sprung into what I do now, that I listen to everything, and not just music, but obviously all kinds of different artistic endeavors. I'm just curious about a lot of that stuff, and I love meeting artistic and creative people, because that's the people I connect with the best. So when someone says they don't really care what they listen to, or they don't have a favorite memory of a band or a concert. Some people haven't been to a concert before of any kind. I'm like, what planet are you from? I don't know at all.
Right. I know, it's really weird, so strange. But it's funny, like what you were saying, Britta, again reminded me of like driving in the car with my mom when I was little, and we'd have like an ABBA cassette tape playing, and we'd be like singing like Dancing Queen, and then the next song would come on, and it would be like Pantera Walk, and like it was just like, there's such a huge range of like, you know, music you can love and connect to and listen to. You don't have to just try and be like this hard nut metalhead. Like, you know, I love listening to a bit of Celine Dion, like you know.
Right song, right time.
Yeah, when it comes to listening to music, I really I don't feel like I have any guilty pleasures, because like I just listen to what I like, and I try not to overanalyze that. But what I find sometimes really annoying about social media or YouTube is like when people take the time to leave a really bad comment, because I feel like, okay, if you don't like a song, like it's like you can express that it's not your cup of tea, whatever, but someone really taking the time to leave like a really, I don't know, destructive comment, like just move on to something you like. Like this planet is full of music, and you will find something that you like. It's just not worth spending time. Like,
oh no, it's mad. It's mad the amount of effort people put into just being an asshole when you could just scroll past. But I don't know. I think people get a kick out of it. You know, if it's making them feel insecure in some way, they have to try and bring you down. So but I totally get what you mean. There's a billion and one songs on this planet. Just scroll past. It's not that deep.
I totally agree. It is a weird social media, or just internet. The internet is
but like you two must get it all the time, where like you must get comments and things where it's like, oh well, you're a woman, so you're just trying to sound like this person, or you're a woman, so you're trying to sound like this, or you're not as good as her, or she's crap in comparison to her, and it's just like, fuck off.
I'm really tired of that sort of stuff.
That conversation is exhausting, isn't it?
It is. It's very, and it's hard to separate yourself from it constantly, because it's constantly in your face. Just the misogyny of it all.
I know. That's why it's great having guys like you, Mark, because
you can support and you support the badass women without, you know, being a condescending, not that you would, but that's what other guys do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. They just seem to think like I don't know if I should talk about a conversation I had recently, but it was like, I don't understand what's happening here. Like a bunch of criticism, like this person just wrote to me out of the blue and was like, I can't find your things. Like, what about? I was like, hello? Hi.
Nice
and it was like, and then it was like a credential conversation. Like, did you know that I did this and that? And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Don't think that person would have done that to a guy.
No. It's the one I always get is because obviously like Britta and I scream. So the one I always get, and you probably get as well, is you're really, you know, you're quite good for a girl. Like you
right.
you almost sound as good as the blokes, and I'm like, sorry, I didn't realize my vagina was attached to my vocal cords. Sorry.
Yeah, I could see that, especially with the growling. That is.
You get that, Britta.
Yeah, I mean, I get that since I started, and it's 18 years ago, and the questions, like, they don't change. The only thing that changes is that I don't answer these questions anymore in interviews. I just ignore them because I'm like, man, people understand. I do not wake up in the morning thinking I feel so womanly.
Right.
Like, I'm one person. My name is Britta, and I have my very own singular experiences. I cannot speak for all womankind, and I don't want to. No. Like, and the funny thing, especially in the beginning, was when I started, there were like maybe two like known singers who were also screaming, which is Sabina Klassen and Angela Gosso back then. So I got the like, oh, you sound like a man, and then they compared me to those two girls who were also singing.
Yeah.
And then I was just saying, okay, if I sound like a man, then in turn, the only logical thing is that all men sound like girls when they scream. So that's fine.
That would be, that's what you should say. You say, you know, they're trying to copy us, right?
Yeah.
That's like how this is happening.
Like, believe me, when I started, I didn't even know that the stuff that I was hearing was mainly male persons singing that. Like I just didn't care. It was what came out of me. It's my voice. It's what I wanted to do. And then these questions came, and I was like, okay, where are all the girls? Like, so wild. Luckily that has changed a lot. Still not enough, but it has changed a lot. And yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Totally crazy.
Yeah, and I want to welcome Queen. You've been with us for a while here in the chat, and Ken, you just joined us, and Ken had a comment about us. Mark already mentioned Debbie Gibson already. And it was Ken is somebody I've known since like 6th grade, so a long time. He's a fellow metalhead, lives down in Houston. And I've said this before, that I've been a strong supporter of women in music when I was back as just a fan of music. And to me, especially all these years later, it's like, if you say you're going to be a supporter of something in some way, a small step or a large step, you should be doing something about it. So in my case, being a media outlet, if you look through my YouTube channel, if you look on the panel right now, well, look at all the ladies that are there. And that's because first and foremost, they're talented. That's what I'm looking at, is the talent. And it's horrible when they try to compare one to the other and try to bring the other one down and try to almost like they want to see some sort of cat fight shit or something like that. It's like, do you like the music or not?
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I've interviewed 2 of the members of Crypta, and I'm thinking about, I don't look at that and listen to it like, oh, it's a female band that plays death metal. It's a death metal band. That's what it is. Period.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just having this conversation with my boyfriend actually this morning, and I was saying how back in the day, I remember having, you know, in-person conversations with more than one male individual saying, where they told me they don't listen to girl music. And I guess this was like Ani DeFranco, Tori Amos, like things that I was listening to that somehow they didn't relate to the narrative because it was a female narrative. And my problem with that is, why is the female narrative not acceptable as in society as a whole? Why is it like, oh, I don't listen to that narrative because it doesn't relate to me just because they're women?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, That doesn't make any sense to me other than it's just sexist bullshit that this
Yeah.
culture needs to like throw away.
Because like you'll get male American pop stars, for example, who will talk about sing about sleeping with loads of different women and in the club and like, you know, just like really provocative stuff. But as soon as a woman starts singing about it, they're like,
right.
Whoa, no, that's not acceptable. Like,
or even if they start singing about how they don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's chick music.
Yeah.
I'm going to sing about how these men are trash. Da, 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 da. Oh, I don't listen to that.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the wrong narrative for a male dominated culture. And it needs to die. And we're going to do a good job. We're going to, we're doing a good job. We're doing what we need to do for the future of music and women in music, I think. Oh no, Mark went away.
We took over.
Yeah, we won. No, just kidding.
Yes, we're alone here. We can do. Oh no, he's back.
Sorry, I've been having these tech issues where I disappear for 5 seconds or whatever. So the stream's still going. Everything's. It
looked really funny. It looked as if you'd just like given up and run away.
Yeah.
The
like,
perfect
okay,
timing. Perfect timing. Just like.
Oh,
what did I say?
You just got ghosted.
No, it annoys the hell out of me. It seems to be an iOS issue on mine, no matter what device I use. But yeah, no, I fully support what you were saying, Nicole. It wasn't that I was like, oh fuck this, I'm out of here.
It's okay. At this point, I don't care. Do it. Go. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Not you, Mark.
Oh man,
they know who they are.
The funny thing, or at least in my experience, is that like I seriously never have any male colleague made any stupid comment to me like active musician, not just metal musician, but active musician being weird or having like a weird opinion about that. Like it's always like from bystanders, from outsiders, from people who are not involved in any kind of musical work or even artistical work. I want to say so it's always from the out. I don't know what's your experience with that.
That's interesting. You mean what experience mine was, or?
Yeah, did you make the same experience that it's more like a thing that comes from the outside?
I mean, if I'm correct in remembering who this conversation was, they were, I mean, at the time, amateur musicians, guys that played guitar. And we were discussing my music and writing music, and I was telling them about the music I listened to, and they were just like, oh, that's not the kind of music. I don't listen to girl music. So I wouldn't say they were professional because none of us were at that time. We were pretty young, probably like early 20s. But I mean, they probably aren't professional musicians now either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me as well, it's a mixed bag. I think it's like sometimes it's people that know nothing about music or metal music or anything, and they're just chiming in, being like, "Oh my god, she must be so angry!" Like, I'd hate to get in an argument with her. Like, and it's just they don't understand that it's heavy metal. And then you do get the people that are in metal and are like, "Well, she's just trying to sound like Ginger. She's just trying to sound like Spirit Box." She's, and it's like, I think I can't speak obviously for this. I can't speak for the sort of like scenes you've been in, Nicole, but I know in like the metal scene, it's like there's allowed to be one female vocalist and all the others are just copying her. And whoever the protagonist decides is that one female vocalist, the other ones are all shit and we're all copying her. But like you said, Britta, we're all doing our own individual thing. Like, it's so stupid, but
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that would be like if you looked and said that I don't know that Bruce Dickinson's the only male vocalist and all the other ones are shit. That never happens. People love him. They love Rob Halford. They love they just go down.
I know.
But then with the vocalists that are female, they flip it around again. They want to put somebody on the top, and everybody else we're just going to shove you down on the bottom. No. And it's like
and we're the only genre of music that get female fronted put in front of it. Like you don't say male fronted pop or male fronted female fronted pop or female fronted
No.
jazz or female fronted folk.
Right.
It's just female fronted metal. And it's like, why the fuck does my vagina need to come into this? It's just a metal band. And it's so frustrating. Like,
and it's because those guys that say, I don't listen to girl music, they need that differentiation.
Yes, they do. Yeah. Female metal.
Female music.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I have been like strictly against this hashtag and this genre labeling like for a very, very long time. And then I learned that for some girls or women, it's a thing that gives them like, they feel like empowered by that. It's something that I don't feel with that hashtag. I feel it kind of like marketing in the best case, or like a little bit of, why does my gender stand in front of my talent? I'm working my ass off to do that and to be where I am and to stay there. So like it's kind of stands in the way. But I can also understand that especially from younger girls listening to music, like the fan side, that they feel like they have like strong female idols and that they can like browse through their social media and seek them out and find them. So from that perspective, I don't freak out anymore when someone puts that hashtag under my picture when they post it, but I would probably never use. I've never used it. It's like, it's wrong. It's like black-haired metal. It's, I don't know. It's
yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's one of those things where a lot of the time it isn't done with bad intentions. It's done with like that girl power feeling, but in a lot of situations it's like, why do we have to mention it? Come on, like, please just stop. Because like, you don't say female fronted pop or
no
female, you know. So I get that like a lot of girls will find empowerment with it, which is great, and if that does something for them, then that's brilliant. But for me, it just really annoys me. Really annoys me.
Yeah.
And not to detract from this, but the last session we had last month of the Fun Table, it came up about the same topic. And then to me, it was also like, in a somewhat of a broader sense too, it's like if I was fronting a band, they don't say Asian fronted metal or whatever.
Right?
It's just like, it doesn't make
Although I've seen that too.
Have you?
Yeah, I mean, what about that? These posts about that little punk band of girls that wrote "Racist, Sexist Boy." Have you seen that?
Oh,
and they are marketing them as, I don't know where they're. I forget where they're from. Are they Japanese? They're not Japanese. I don't remember where they're from.
I don't remember.
Korean? They might be Korean. I don't remember. But they were saying, this Korean girl band, punk band, or whatever it was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And they could just say a punk band from Korea. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I also see it too from some of the guests I've interviewed that are in different industries. So especially the film industry, if you're female as a director, or a position of power, a casting director, and the people that you put into your films are trying to get the financing for your project, so it's 10 times tougher for them than if you're a male. And they've all talked about it. So it's like, oh, I've got this great idea and I'm ready to do this. And I've got the credentials behind me to actually make this film happen. And as soon as somebody that pulls the strings sees that it's a woman, they're going to make them jump all these extra hoops versus a guy. And it's like, that makes no sense whatsoever. They can do a fucking fantastic job with this project, and gender has nothing to do with it. But it's one of many things that are out there that you have to keep continually chipping away at. And we saw that last year particularly here in America. I know in other parts of the world as well with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. That's just been going on for decades here. And if you didn't realize that, then your head's been in the sand way too long. Well, I'm surprised it's something that finally came to the surface. And so there's all these things that I've talked about this. Actually, I just talked about it on Tuesday with my interview with the guest, saying that we've had 15 months to think about and reflect on personal things, professional things in our lives. And then at least for myself, I thought about a few things of like, once we're past this, these are some changes I want to make moving forward. And I've seen so many bands, unfortunately, that are back on stages. It looks like it's 2019 all over again. They've done absolutely nothing different. It's almost like they're just happy to be back, which I understand. Don't get me wrong. But, even if it's like just changing, maybe you have like a new t-shirt you wear when you play live, or that chain that's hanging off your belt loop. You know, you don't have that anymore. It doesn't have to be some huge thing, but it's kind of like, what happened to your intention? Now it's proof is in the pudding. You said you were going to try to change some things. So where are they? And it's like, it's so easy just like to be comfortable again and go back to what it was.
Yeah.
But I wasn't comfortable with a lot of the things that were going on before the pandemic hit. So I want to make some changes to it.
That's good. Yeah, I think it's like a lot of people talk the talk, but they don't actually walk the walk. So yeah, if you're not happy with something, you've got to stand up and shout about it, really. But a lot of people don't. They like to pretend and put social media posts up and act as if they're a big activist. But when it comes down to it, they don't do much other than just social media, and that doesn't really help anyone, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And we've talked about with many guests about social media in general, that it can be a really helpful tool as long as you're in control of it. It can be extremely negative and hurtful at the same time. So it has to kind of come in doses. Is what I found. And I can't imagine what the three of you deal with. I mean, you have followings. I have this small following that's getting a little bit bigger, but every now and then it's like, I'll get that long ass comment on a YouTube, live in stream that I did. I'm like, how long did that take you to formulate that? When again, you could have just you were talking about this earlier. You could have just moved right on to the next interview or the next band or the next anything.
Yeah.
But they want to sit there and take the time.
So stupid.
Yeah.
If people put as much effort as they do into being assholes, into doing something productive and nice, the world would be so much nicer. People put effort into just
that is
being,
so true. Yeah.
Negative, and
horrible.
It's not helping anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man,
I wonder about that. It's probably just passes on from parent to child.
Yeah,
parent does it, child does it, child's used to it, child thinks that's how things are. You gotta be rude or something.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah, you just gotta let people know that you don't like them.
Right. So important. Such an important.
Yeah. First thing to do in the morning is like, find someone on the street and tell them, I don't like you.
What a bummer. It's a huge bummer.
Speaking of bands from other countries, I have a question for all of you. Like, what's your favorite song that is not sung in your mother tongue?
Well, that's easy for me because as an opera singer,
wow.
Gosh, well, actually, maybe it's not so easy. I mean, my favorite opera is in Italian, Lucia di Lammermoor. There's my poster.
Wow.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
my favorite opera.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I can't think of like a.
What languages do you sing in then?
Me? Oh, me? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, well, Italian's probably my best.
Yeah.
I mean, I sing in French more frequently, and I have sung in German. Queen of the Night, Der Hohe Rock is a song that I do, and maybe I should hit you up from some German pointers.
Now I want to hear it.
No, I don't know if you want to hear it now. Now I'm insecure. I mean, I've been told it's okay, but people also do the opposite, where they lie and they say things are good when they aren't. So I don't really know. I love singing in German though. I love it. Italian's the easiest. German's my favorite. I hate French. I hate French.
Oh.
We sang in Russian too. For the PBS Capital Fourth, we did the Tchaikovsky.
Wow.
Is it Tchaikovsky? I don't know. We sang in Russian.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Don't die.
I just inhaled here.
Don't die.
I was brought up by my granddad, and he literally we watched opera all the time and would go to the opera. So anyone that can sing like that, I am just in complete awe of you. It's incredible.
Well, I'm in awe of you. Because I tried so hard to growl.
Oh,
You guys,
but
don't
you
understand. I did the pillow. I did the pillow. I did I did the close to the mic and covering it. Like, my band laughed at me.
Aww.
They laughed at me. They're like, don't do that.
Aww. Well,
I guess I was more Evanescence. Like,
that's metal as hell. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I really, really wanted to, because I love Maria from In This Moment.
Mm-hmm.
I love how she
she's
does
cool.
both.
Yeah.
She's like recording. I don't know about live. I know I've heard some mixed things about live, but like her recordings are just like, the way she switches back and forth just blows my mind. And I really wanted to do that, but.
Oh.
You probably can. I mean, like, I teach growl and scream for my living, and everyone that comes in that has the classical singing training, I find like so many similarities, like to how like pro breathing technique and everything. So it's really close by. Like, it's more or less just an over exaggeration of what you're already doing as far as like wideness of the throat and everything. So it's really, really related. There are many similarities.
That is so interesting. Tell me more. Oh, I wish I was still in a metal band. I'm not.
No.
That was amazing though. Having that power behind you. There's nothing like that. There's nothing behind that. Like nothing like
but
that.
the reason I was asking about your favorite song in a different language than your mother tongue is because for me, I'm German. I have lived in Germany all my life, and I like probably 99% of the music that I consume is sung in English. So music in German, most of the time it sounds very funny and awkward to me. So I don't know, like, how does it feel for you that everything, or like most of the music that is put out there is in the English language?
I think it's a shame for Americans in a lot of ways, because I think they would really benefit from exposure to other cultures and other language. I think we kind of fail on that. We don't get the same, background. They don't teach us. Well, we do learn other languages, but we just don't have the same broadening culture, I don't think. And I think that's a little bit of a shame. Like, we should have more foreign language music in our libraries, I think.
Yeah. I think it's similar in the UK. Like, we're lazy. We're like inherently lazy because everybody speaks English and everybody understands English. Nobody really goes out of their way to learn other languages or anything. And like, I love the pop band Blackpink. I don't know if you know Blackpink. They're very, very cool. They're from Korea, and they're awesome, like, pop band. And they sing in English, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and another language, I can't remember what one, but they're all like multilingual, and like all their songs are like so catchy and have several languages within them, and they're amazing.
That's awesome.
So they're definitely a good one to check out. But
Blackpink,
yeah, very cool.
That's
but
cool.
Yeah, I think it's weird because in our sort of, I suppose, countries, we're just given everything in English, and so you don't go out searching for other stuff because it's just given to you. So it must be really weird growing up and only hearing music, not only hearing music, but the majority of music isn't in your own language. Like, did that help with learning how to speak English?
A lot, a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was really interested in lyrics like all my life. Like, I sat down in my room when I was, I don't know, maybe I started at 11 and tried to figure out what my favorite bands would sing about and what the lyrics meant and everything. So that helped a lot. Yeah.
That's amazing.
See, that's the sort of thing, like, I take for granted. I never would think, like, growing up, I'm gonna have to go look and see what all these lyrics mean.
Right.
But then I suppose that brings you even closer to the music, because you've had to go out of your way to kind of figure out what was being said when you were a kid and stuff. That must have made it quite special. But yeah, that's incredible, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I had a kind of a unique experience, because for me, the first time I heard the band Loudness from Japan was before they got signed to America. So this was all the stuff they released in Japan, and all it was sung in Japanese. I'm
Yeah.
Japanese American, but I don't speak the language. I never have. My parents don't either. I go back to my grandparents to hear the language. And
Yeah.
so hearing heavy metal sung in the language that's my original language from my ancestors, or whatever you want to call it, but I didn't understand a word of it, was really interesting. So I'm kind of like, this is really cool, because I'm seeing people that look like me. They're singing in the language that I'm supposed to know at some point in my life. Which I never did, but it was just so interesting when they eventually had them sing in English. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So like, just stay with the authentic. I'm still the same way now with foreign movies. I'd much rather read subtitles and hear the actual language that it was filmed in, instead of some awful English dub version of it. And I just had to review 2 things recently about that. And it's like, oh, these episodes are really good for this web series for Netflix. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but too late now.
Bag cat there.
But I put it into my review, so I guess it's okay that I just didn't like. There's 2 episodes that were dubbed in English. I'm like, why couldn't you have this be in Portuguese? Because one was from Brazil and one was from Japan. And I was like, I can't stand hearing this. Obviously it doesn't match with their mouth, and you can see they're still talking, and it's like, oh, this is terrible. But I'm thinking more for like musically, Britta, what you're asking these days. I think back to when I got into black metal. There's a lot of the black metal bands, especially like from Finland and from the Scandinavian countries, that I like. They're singing in their native language, and I don't have a freaking clue what they're saying or what they're doing. But the feeling of it I love, and the atmosphere of it I love. And then, oddly enough, I guess we can also talk about Japanese things. I'm a fan of baby metal. And so being from Japan and being a different style of rock and J-pop and all that kind of stuff that they mix together, it's in Japanese, most of it. They've done some English stuff too, but it's just interesting to kind of hear that. So I agree with Nicole that, at least for me, the English-speaking countries, they always talk about English arrogance, that we just assume that wherever we go, you're going to try to adapt to my language, instead of, if I go to Spain, I should try to speak Spanish. Or if I go to Brazil, I should try to speak Portuguese. But it seems like, well, I'll try to talk really slow to you in English, hoping that you can connect with me, because it's just like, we just kind of have this, unfortunately, this bad attitude about that kind of thing. Instead of like, I'm in your home, I should be trying to adapt to you.
When we went on tour, whenever the world wasn't on fire, we went to France and Switzerland and Italy, and in each country I'd like research, trying to just like bare minimum, so like I knew how to say hello, how are you, can I have this kind of thing, because to me it's so important to, like, you don't have to be fluent, but at least make the effort, because it is just so rude, I think, when people, English people or English speaking people are in, the country, and just expect everybody to understand them. Like, if somebody says, don't worry, I can speak English, it's fine, fantastic, but you shouldn't just assume, you should make the effort. And I was awful. I was probably telling them like the most ridiculous things, but I tried. I tried really hard.
It's also it's a fun thing to do also. Like I remember like whenever like I go on like a tour that spans like weeks and not just like 2 days or so, like I try to I have one sentence and there's a story to that I try to translate into every language of the country that I travel to. I once traveled back from Australia on a plane. I had a very bad cold. I had a bad fever, and then this long flight, and it wasn't funny. And then there was this older guy sitting next to me, and he was like, I had German in school when I was younger. And then he went on, and then he told me about like his experience. I was just like with a headache. I'm like, yeah, I tried to be really nice. And then he was like, and then there was a sentence that I don't remember what it means, but here's the sentence. And he was, meine Beutelmaus hat Verstopfung. And I don't know, like I exploded into laughter, because it literally means my mouse is constipated. This is the sentence that I try to learn in every language, and for whatever reason, the only thing that I can remember is how to say it in Greek. And I can still say it, and it's stuck in my mind. But that's the sentence that I learned, and so it's pretty useless, but it's.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh, well, you can speak more than I can, so.
Me too. Oh, goodness.
Funny.
Well, and I find that stuff too from the media side that it's never lost on me that if I'm reaching out to an international guest, I never assume that they speak English. And I have one tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, at 10 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. A little plug for me, with from Knitland from Siberia, and they're Icelandic folk and Siberian folk and really ancient ways kind of stuff. And writing in English is totally different than speaking English. Like I took Spanish back in high school, so I had to remember, when I had to write that stuff and do the assignments, it wasn't too bad. But when I had to actually converse in it, it's totally different. So a lot of times they'll ask, hey, Mark, is it okay if you send some questions ahead of time so we can kind of practice before we actually come and do this live stream thing with you? And I totally understand that. I would never say well, can't you just do it? Or your English seems fine to me. Never like that. I've had several guests that I've done that. So there's a little tidbit for people wondering about how I've done some of those. We do it ahead of time so they feel comfortable. I want them comfortable. I don't ever want somebody thinking like, is this okay? And I had a director from Spain and he was so nervous before we went live. He said, Mark, my English, I just don't feel good about my English. I said, trust me, right now what I'm hearing, it's really great. Your message is getting across. And he would say that maybe every couple of minutes during the interview. So I felt so bad. And so I tried to be as helpful as I could be. And his English was really good. But I understand, like if someone said, Mark, do your interview in Spanish. If I'm the one who had to speak, I'd be like, me llamo Marcos and como te llamas, and that's about all I know. Tacos or whatever. So I totally get it. But it's also having some empathy, I think, is a big piece for that, for someone that will look at it, and people that don't have empathy and maybe a little narcissistic don't care. Oh, is that our friend? Oh,
that's my phone.
That's what people the parent.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was Spanky time.
No, this is my bird ringer.
Yeah, that's why I really admire you, Britta, because like obviously in situations like this as well, we're all just like chatting, and like it's so amazing. I don't mean it in a patronizing way. I'm in complete awe of like just how you can just converse so easily, because I am so ignorant to it. Like I'm a bit like you, Mark. I learned Spanish in school, so I can speak a little bit of Spanish, but as far as German language goes, I haven't got a clue. And so it's just amazing that you're just so confident and just speaking English, and like you don't actually have to, like you could tell us, no, I'm not doing it, but it's amazing that you do.
The only time I had full-on stage fright was a time that I had a line in Mandarin.
Oh, wow.
And I practiced. It was a very short line. I could probably still say it, but I had to say just like 2 sentences in Mandarin, and I worked on it with a girl that was in the cast with me, and I was ready to go. And as soon as I got up there, I picked up the phone because the line was on the phone, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't. I don't know what I'm saying. Like, nope.
That's super awkward when that happens on
horrible.
stage.
It was horrible. But it was the only time. Just like the full on, like actual stage fright, like the kind you see someone that isn't, a theater or stage person is like, I can't go on stage and say a word. Like that was that moment for me.
Did you have to do it with the accent? Because I think accents with language is probably like why I struggle trying to get the accent right. Yeah,
because Mandarin is actually a pitched language. Right, so if you were to say it like in such a way, like she would write it out for me. Yeah. She said, you could call your mom a horse if you don't say this right.
Oh,
if you don't say it with the right inflection. So I wonder at that was it. I can say it now. But like I basically said, Mr. Warbucks is not here right now. Please, can I take a message or something like that?
Yeah.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
It's Mr. Warbucks is not. It's from Annie. Annie 2, the second sequel to Annie. Mr. Warbucks isn't here right now. Could I take a message or something like that? That was it. Warbuck, Chin Chung, Chin Tin Mekong.
So cool. That's so cool.
Not afraid of it now.
You sound like you're fluent in it.
I worked hard. I worked hard to forget that line.
So good. Oh,
Well,
Terrifying.
and I'm also actually remember something. I had an interview last summer with a German director, a film director, and the star of the film. They both came on. His English, he felt very confident in it, no problem with it. But she was very hesitant, so she was very glad that he was there. And I think it was before we went live. I don't think it was in the live stream, but she was asking me, Mark, what German words do I know? She said there's a lot of words that we use in English that are German based, which I'm like, I'm just a ding dong, I don't know. And and that's when the director said, well, Mark, do you still talk about kindergarten being the first grade in school? And I'm like, oh yeah, we do. I went to kindergarten. I said, he's like, there you go. That's a German based word. I didn't even know. Again,
kindergarten. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Kindergarten.
So,
there's a very weird YouTube video out there where someone from the US is speaking like weirdly formed sentences with words that are actually German but are used in English, and it just sounds German. It's weird. Weird. Like kindergarten and iceberg and I don't know, Fahrvergnügen and whatnot. Like.
Oh man, I love German so much. It is my favorite language. I love it. I love singing in it. Like for some reason I find the consonants to be like really helpful. I don't know if that's just in the classical for me, the way I sing, but like the way it flows, maybe it's because it's so much like English. Maybe. I mean, Italian obviously is always going to be like number one for classical singing just because the open vowels and the pure vowels in it. Yeah. But like, German there's something about it that I feel like you can really sing with it.
That's so interesting because like, I have never thought about singing in another language. So the fact that it's like this whole other world for you both is just amazing. Like, yeah.
What is English singing like? Like coming from a different language, what is English to sing in? Like, well, I guess it's different. Yeah, I don't know. It's different for different styles too.
Yeah, it's like you kind of get caught in this weird place where it's like, if I sing too much like how I speak, I'll sound like I'm trying to be a Cockney. Like, so sometimes, like, I don't know, I'll have to try and sing something not as English because otherwise it does come across as a bit like, oh, I sound like a proper from London, mate, kind of thing.
Right.
So we kind of like, we don't Americanize, but we kind of just like smooth out the English accent sometimes. Yeah, because otherwise it is very much, fish and chips. And
that makes so much sense because English actors can own American accents.
Yeah.
Like you cannot even tell when they are when they're English. But an American doing an English accent sounds like trash. So like I don't know. It's like I've always wondered about that. Like why are they good at that and we suck? I mean, it's probably just like we could not pull it off.
It is quite a weird accent when I think about it. Like, it is a weird accent in the sense that it is very T's and crossing the I's and dotting the T's, and it's very like, even though my accent isn't particularly well spoken, I sound like I'm really well spoken and posh. But
great perk.
But like, yeah, when you obviously in the UK, like anywhere on the planet, there's different regions with different accents and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's because of music again and films. Like, everything is in an American accent, and so yeah, like we can slip into American accents so easily. It's really funny. Yeah.
I also think that, I mean, people have said, I mean, I don't have an accent, and I think that's because I'm from California.
Okay.
Because TV's in California and everyone on TV has a Californian accent. So therefore I have no accent when I move somewhere because everyone's used to hearing that California sound. Although I'm here in Maryland, I'm starting to get a little bit of a y'all.
Oh.
Y'all. Hey, y'all. What y'all doing out here? What y'all doing? So that's happening.
That's brilliant. I love hearing. Sorry, say that again.
No, Megan, you go.
Oh, I was just saying, I love hearing everybody's accents because, like, the English accent to us is so boring. Like hearing you guys speak is so nice, but it's very boring to us.
I love your accent, Megan. I really like hearing that. It's music to my ears.
Oh,
both of you.
Yeah,
both of you are music.
Some people from America have told me I sound Swedish in my accent. Like, is that true? I don't know.
I think it's because they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can.
You don't know what you're talking about. That's German.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know. They think they know from YouTube or whatever, but they don't.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm thinking back, I've interviewed some bands from Sweden, and your accent doesn't sound anything like theirs to me.
No, it's a little more mushy, right? It's not as like I had a Swedish friend, Sana, that I remember her accent pretty well. It was softer. It's like I don't know, at least from everyone's perspective is going to be different, you know?
Yeah. I remember talking to a Swedish girl once, and they don't really, when they're speaking in English, obviously, they don't pronounce their J's. So they sort of say Y instead of J. So like the word jump would be like yump or something.
Right. Like little mushier.
Pardon?
Oh.
Sorry, somebody spoke, I didn't hear.
Just talking out loud.
But yeah, I'm in awe of it. Like, I don't care how you pronounce things. I think it's incredible. Like, I wish I could speak another language. I feel like such a letdown when I'm speaking to anyone in an interview or anything who's like taking the time to interview me and they're doing the interview in English. I feel so awful because I'm just like, I wish I could speak to you in your language, but I'm dumb and I can't.
That's crazy.
Well, being the only one whose mother tongue is not English, I have never felt this way when speaking to someone from America or from England. I have never felt in any way. And I don't think that any of you guys are arrogant or like expecting everyone else to speak like that. It's just a language that is common, that we have some common ground, and it's, I don't know, like, don't be too worried. Just speak.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I overthink it all.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do. You feel, I mean, especially those of us that want to be considerate and cultured. You know, I think a lot of us do feel that way.
Yeah.
But like you said, you'll learn some bits and pieces if you go somewhere. You're not going to be the jerk that's like, I need my French fries. You know, like you're going to actually try to, when in Rome, and speak what you can. So that's, I think that's all we can really do.
Yeah.
But
no, both your accents, all of your accents are lovely. Like, and it's funny because like there's so many different styles of American accents as well. Like, I was talking to somebody the other day who's from Texas, and like they had like this really like Southern American accent. I'm not going to do it because I'll sound awful, but I was just like, oh, I could sit and listen to you talk all day. It's like such a cool accent.
Oh man, I gotta go get that. I'm gonna go get that accent. Because I'm boring.
No.
I got that.
Really
I got that
soothing.
TV. It's that TV accent, I think.
To me, it's like, it's really soothing and like, I don't know, relaxing and soothing. Yeah.
Nice.
Good accent. It's not boring. It's not boring.
I've never heard of that. I've never had that conversation. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, and I think also just being here in America, that for Nicole and I, there's accents that I'm not even aware of, like especially other parts of the East Coast, depending, like you think, a New York accent or a Boston accent, but there's a lot of other ones as you go through. Baltimore has an accent for sure. And then you start working down through the Carolinas and down through like Georgia and Florida. They all have this variance of Southern drawl, and you move over to Alabama, Mississippi, towards Texas. I bet you even within Texas is so huge. I bet you there's different fractions of just their own drawl that they have. And then someone pointed out to me a long time ago, I don't know if it's true here in Washington, that it's come up in a couple of interviews where, I don't know if it's an accent, but certain words I say, that I'm just used to saying like a mirror, like you look in a mirror. I just say it like one syllable, mirror. And there's like mirror, like M-E.
Mirror.
Yeah, and then the same thing like with like a horror show.
Horse.
Yes. And people
don't say that.
Oh my gosh.
Because in English, because like we all say mirror, or horror. So I've had to kind of like get used to like you guys saying whore or mirror. I can't do it.
What a mere whore.
That's so
And
funny.
in songs as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like,
So,
that's
yeah,
not what that's.
It is interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting.
But it's the same for all of us, I suppose. Yeah.
Have you ever found you're talking to someone that does have an accent and you start mimicking it on accident?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
It's so hard not to do that.
I live in Hanover, and supposedly it has the clearest version of, like the clearest version of German there is. So like I feel like an accent magnet when I'm talking to someone from the southern part of Germany, like find its way in, and then when I'm speaking to someone from Hamburg, then it's all like it's just like sticking.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
I
do
think
it
that's
as
actually
well?
a good thing. Oh God, I've embarrassed myself more than once doing that, but it's really hard not to. But I think it's part of. I mean, it's just part of human nature that we want to, especially if you. It's actually a compliment because it means you like the person. It means you like the person. You want to be like the person. You're mimicking them. And it's a human like psychological thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's actually it's a good thing, but it comes across as weird, I think, sometimes, or it could potentially be insulting.
Yeah. No, I have to like really remind myself not to do it because I just do it instinctively. But yeah. If I suddenly drop into an American accent or a German accent, I'm sorry.
I know, right? I know. So funny. It's okay. We're the melting pot right now. We're creating our own dialect. That's what's happening. It's too funny.
Yeah. And Queen, I see you're talking about what we were just talking about. Like when I say, I don't say horror, I say it sounds like horror. And that came up in the live stream with a great band from South Africa. I was talking about a horror convention I was at, but I said horror convention. They're like, what kind of convention is that?
That's a massive job interview. Oh my God.
You use your consonants.
Yeah, and then it came up in another one. I was talking about the same thing. You would think I would have learned from that one, but I didn't. So it's like now I have to be conscious of the fact, like say horror, Mark. Enunciate, say things a little clearer, and we just kind of go from there. But yeah, the accents are great. And I want to make sure that I'm being mindful of the time. That are people so interested in perhaps showing a duckling or a parrot? Or...
Yes. BYOB, bring your own bird. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay.
We get to see the ducklings.
Yay.
Mark, maybe you should put us backstage and then introduce the duck or the birds.
Or maybe the parrot and the duck can just like have
do me first because it's not as cool as the duck.
Okay.
This is so cool. Awesome. Yeah. What you were talking about earlier about like all the accents, it's really easier for me to growl and scream in Americanized English, just because the vowels are not as clear and there's a lot of power. And when the vowel changes, like on the word a or u, where it slides from one vowel into the other, it's way easier to sing than singing like the straight lines all the time. Oh, yeah, we have duckling.
Hello.
We'll bring.
Hello. That's the cutest.
I want your duck so bad. I'm gonna cry. That's not Quacky, is it?
No, this is Bumblebee.
Is that Quacky? Oh,
no,
this is so soft. I just want to cuddle.
She's very soft. This is little Bumblebee. We rescued her a couple of days ago, and
hi, Bumblebee.
She's very cute.
Look, say hi to the duck. Say hi to the duck. Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness, they're communicating.
Can Oh, he's
my
so
gosh,
cute.
so cute.
That is very cute.
Aw.
Megan, how long do ducks tend to live?
So if you like domesticate them and like treat them more as pets than like just chucking them in on the farm and letting them roam free, they can live up to like 15 years. So it's like the same as a dog. But ones that like aren't pets and just in the wild, and or you just kind of have them on your farm as livestock, or you know, just something to look at, they tend to only live for like 5-8 years. But these guys are all going to be pets, and like they all come in the house all the time, so hopefully we'll get at least 10 years out of them. I know, she's got such tiny little wings.
Oh, see, that's that noise. I don't think the duck's gonna have that much power behind it. I love the duck. Why can't you be like the duck?
How old is he?
Spanky is 5. He's turning 5 this month, actually. Oh goodness, precious baby. The fluff is just unreasonable.
Yeah. Oh,
it's unreasonable. It's so cute. Spanky's hiding.
No.
That's a good spot.
She's oh wow.
He hates cameras and stuff, which is funny. Yeah, considering what I do for a living, it's kind of funny. Like, just take a picture with me, please. I need it for Instagram. But he won't, because he's a jerk. Come here, bird.
So colorful, really, really pretty.
Yeah, really pretty.
Really pretty. There we go. There we go. Say hi.
She's just sitting on my desk now. Ooh, on my lap.
Oh, the peeping. The peep. Did you hear that? Can you hear it? No. You're just confused, aren't you? See the duck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Kiss. Give me a kiss. No? Okay.
Oh.
He does give kisses. Give a kiss.
Oh.
I'm gonna make you. Give me a kiss. There. That's a bird. Oh my gosh, that duck's face.
Such a good picture.
That's great. Oh my goodness. And what kind of ducks are they?
So they're all types. I've got Indian runner ducks, which are the ones that don't waddle and are really tall.
Okay.
She's a Pekin cross khaki Campbell. And then I've got silver apple yards, which are like really short, fat dumpling looking ones. But this lot are all rescues, so they're all either like orphan ducks or one of them was just rescued from a housing estate. But yeah, they're all very, very cute and
they're
fluffy.
So great. I love fluffy ducks. I love you too, baby.
Yeah,
all right.
This is definitely the first time we've had a duck on any live stream I've done. So
yeah.
And I see Ken saying I need a new show, Mark's Virtual Animal Menagerie. You never know, Ken. You never know.
Yeah. People love animals. That'll sell.
It's the same with the accents. Like whenever I see like a cute animal, I'm like trying to mimic the animal. Like
like it's gonna understand you. Like
literally, I have to mute like nearly all of my Instagram stories because whenever I'm filming the ducks or anything, I'm talking to them in the duck voice. And if people heard me talking in the duck voice, they'd be like, "Who the heck? Like this woman is crazy." But like when you're talking to your pets or anything, you have that voice, don't you? Where you talk to them in a different voice. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And just animals in general, we do that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, I have this badass metal band. Oh
yeah. Okay, we are well-rounded individuals here.
Yeah.
Right, Spanky? He laughs too.
No way.
Laugh, go ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. No, he won't. He knows he's on camera.
Clever bird.
He's clever. He's like, I don't like this. Look at him. It's like, what? What are you looking at?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
He's a handsome
Why am I
boy.
here? Why am I here? Cheeto. He's my Cheeto.
I've told my partner, like, when we're really, really old, like in our 80s, and like we're too frail to have all the fun, we're just gonna have loads of parrots. And he's just like, yeah, fine.
Do you have any parrots right now?
No, but I've always wanted one.
Oh.
Always. So
Sun conures are pretty great. This is a sun
Yeah.
conure. He's loud though, but you're
Yeah.
used to noises. But this is like needle in your brain sometimes. Like, please shut up.
yeah.
But I don't know. Any bigger, they don't. Some are quieter
Mhm.
than others.
I suppose it's their
they're not-
personality, isn't it? Yeah.
But
And Nicole, does he change colors during the course of the year?
not during the year, but during his life. So they start
Oh.
off more green. So like the back here, this was all green when he was a baby, and then out when he's becomes an adult, they turn yellow. So they get ripe.
Yeah. Like a banana.
He's banana. Are you banana? Are you banana? He's bad banana. He's a bad banana.
I'm just picturing anyone who just joined the stream about 5 minutes ago going, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's not what I expected.
Oh, but I do want to thank all of my guests for joining me today, this evening, this afternoon, and the furry guests and feathered guests as well. And make sure that I hit some banners here. So for everyone, if you're not familiar, we have Megan from Vexed, and there's the official site you can go to and check everything out. And we have Britta from Hiraes here, and check them out. And of course, Nicole is here, and all of these links are in the YouTube description. If you would like, this always helped if you could subscribe to not only my channel, but all of their channels on YouTube as well. It always helps out with the wonderful algorithm that we're all living with on some level. And if you're feeling super appreciative, I can always use a tip or a donation through PayPal, which is also in the YouTube description, but I can take all of this off now. Britta, Megan, Nicole, thank you so much for taking the time. This was an amazing round 2 fun table session. I would welcome you back anytime in the future. And for this, or for obviously another one-on-one interview when you'd like to talk about your bands or anything that's coming up. I just wish everyone well and success with everything that you're doing, and that we're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. So hopefully it just continues to get brighter and brighter, and we'll have a chance to actually see things in person. I can't wait for that. I'm still wondering who's going to be the first guest that I interviewed virtually that I finally get to meet in person in some capacity, because it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to be an awesome experience when it does happen.
Yeah,
I'm sure
for
it will.
sure. And thank you for having us. And it was lovely to meet you both as well.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark. And it was really nice to meet both of you, Megan and Nicole. Really, really cool.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night, good day, and hopefully see you sooner than later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Say bye.